Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's
it's very evocative title.
Yeah, it's good. And it's got some very evocative remodeling of Holmes and Watson.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
what I've seen. They're a bit sexy now.
They
Quite interesting facial hair.
They're sort of like I mean, I said this at the preview, but I mean, Sherlock's kind of like a cross between, and this is characterization as well as looks, but he's sort of like a cross between the Jeremy Brett version and the Robert Downey Jr. version in a weird way. So,
well, those are the ones everyone likes, right?
Every time I play one of these, because I've been into these Sherlock Holmes games since they did the Jack the Ripper one, which was like 2008 or something, and they always get better, but they never quite get really good, you know, and it's starting to get a bit frustrating.
So where are we at with this one then?
Well, I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on it because I'm really not, but like it's good.
Yeah,
it's better than the last one in a lot of ways. It's also, they've done some new things that don't quite work. Being a really good game is just within its grasp, but it doesn't quite get there. And that's been the same. So like I was really hoping when I played the preview for this one that this was going to be the one. Like, oh, this is the one that's going to elevate it from to like, oh wow, you know. But
so what stops it from getting there then? So
I mean, well, first of all, the setup is pretty much the same as the last game in terms of what you do and the structure of it. There's 5 different cases. They're loosely connected. You go about collecting clues until you've got enough information to make deductions, and all that stuff is great. That's always been really solid, and that's kind of the foundation they've had for a while. So that's good. That's all fine. They haven't ruined it or anything. It looks better, you know, than the previous games as well. But what they've done with this one is that they've added in lots of things like there's really like extended action sequences now, which there were action sequences in the previous games, but I don't remember them being this kind of bloated and overlong. Like, they really feel in this game like it's the most ambitious one they've done.
Yeah.
But it's like they're kind of showing off like, hey, look, we've got a chase sequence with guns now. And it's like, yeah, but I was bored of it 10 minutes ago. Like, there's this, it's teased even like as soon as you launch the game, because you get a bit of a flash forward before you. So there's this bit where you're being chased by a gunman, you're running through the woods, and it's just a slog. Like, you get through the first bit of it and you think, oh fuck, glad that's over. And then no, that was just like part 1 of 4. And then you have to do it while you're in like a swamp where you can't see the path unless you go into your detective vision thing that you need to walk on. And to use the detective vision, you need to be stationary. So it's like, I've got to kind of do a puzzle here as well while I'm being shot at, and if I fuck up the puzzle, I drown. So it just kind of, that sequence just got worse. It started off really shit, and then it got worse and worse and worse.
So how's the actual detection stuff in it? Because before it was always, you know, you'd pick up certain bits and certain bits be highlighted, and then you know, you'd put things together, kind of thing. Is it still very much the same?
Still very much like that. Yeah. There is you've got a lot more room to fail though, which I love.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, so it's not just sort of collecting all the requisite shit you need to collect before Holmes has the revelation and then you go on to scene 2. It's now that you collect a lot of information, usually about 2 or 3 suspects who could have done it, who usually have a motive, who have the opportunity, have the expertise in certain ways, and you've got to kind of decide. You usually end up having to decide between a number of suspects, basically. So
it's kind of like, it could have been any of them, but the tobacco we found at the crime scene was favoured by sailors, and only one of them, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Only one of them's got an anchor tattoo.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of, it really does come down to, all right, so, you know, you use the mechanics of the game to build the case against all of them, effectively, and then you've really got to kind of think of the nitty gritty and think, that guy's manner was a bit shit, or you end up deciding on lots of whimsy. You know, you just kind of that side of it is great, and it's pretty much the same as it was in the previous game, Crimes and Punishments, and like that game is another thing I love, where you get to the end of the first case, you pick your suspect, and then you commit to it. It wipes your save for that chapter. and then you just have to carry
Wow.
on. So there's no kind of, you can't window shop for justice. You have to make a decision, stick to
that's
it.
pretty good.
And you don't actually get proper confirmation usually that you've got the right choice until the end of the game. So it's a bit tense, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck it, So yeah, that stuff, that side of it is great, and as good as it's always been, in some ways better.
So it sounds like instead of sort of concentrating on enhancing the stuff that they were already good at and making those bits like properly great, they've tried to just add extra bits that didn't need to be there.
Exactly.
Is that fair?
I would say so, yeah. And I understand why they've put this stuff in, and I understand why they've made it more kind of action-y, if that's even a word. I don't think it was really necessary, and I certainly don't think it was necessary to do it in the kind of the bloated and unwelcome way they have. Like, they've jammed a lot of these sequences in. There's some Mayan temple bollocks that just irritated me as well. But there is a skip button for all of this. If
that's okay.
If you fail
That's
it a
not
couple
so
of times,
bad.
you can just, and it doesn't seem to have any penalty either. So I think it's like they know.
Yeah.
So, it's not too much of a bugbear.
John Hamm, apparently, you told me.
Because someone told me that it was John Hamm, and I can't find any reference
But
to
do you
him
think,
doing
like,
it.
once you were told it was John Hamm, then you were like...
It just became John Hamm
Oh,
in
it
my
must
head
be John
because
Hamm's.
he definitely has John Hamm's face. So, I mean, whether it's true or not, I'm sticking with it's John Hamm now.
Well, there you go.
But it probably isn't. So there. If you enjoyed that review, click on the left for our review of Hitman Episode 3, which is in Marrakesh, and it's amazing. Or click on the right for our review of Dangerous Golf, which is a bit like Burnout with golf, but not quite. Just watch it, we'll explain. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye!